Hello, 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 everybody. What's going on? I keep messing up, okay? I keep starting these videos. I had it on the two modes, like two studio modes, where it has the one screen and then the one screen of what you guys are going to see, and then the next screen for what's on deck. I keep looking at the on deck screen thinking that that's the live screen, and it's not the live screen. It's on another screen. So I'll be sitting here babbling, looking at myself on the up deck on deck screen for like 3 to 4 minutes. Like I just went like 5 minutes, and it was a beautiful intro. But hello, hello, hello. I'm very mad at myself right now. Like I honestly don't even want to finish this, but I'm gonna keep going. The show must go on, right? The show must go on. Yes, we are here. It's the first quarter really of the year. I still haven't done my taxes. That's what I just realized. I haven't done my taxes. I need to get on that like immediately. I don't even know where all my paperwork is. Somebody said they're gonna fix me a plate. What's that? That was last week. My coworker just said she gonna make me a plate of food. So I had to be like, thank you, thank you. We gotta respond back to that immediately. Okay. Okay, we gotta respond back to that immediately. Um, yeah, so where was I? Yeah, I haven't done my taxes yet. It's crazy. What happened so far this year, true crime wise? True crime wise, I think the Adelson trial was this year and she was convicted. The Walsh trial was this year and he was convicted. Um, who else? Who else was convicted this year? Um, yeah, why am I going blank? Corey Richards was just convicted. There's a lot of stuff coming to a lot of stories that we've been watching for a little bit online that finally met their end, I guess now. Yeah, that was all this year. Those ones were all this year. What else happened? There was some other cases this year that happened that we were watching. Afro Man. I really wasn't following Afro Man, but I guess that's because we were so caught up on Corey Richards. But when that happened, fucking after that was happening, after the whole Corey Richards drama slash saga finished this section of it, because there's still the whole she's gonna get sentenced and then possibly appeal, and then she might pop up for season 3 after the appeal. Who knows? Because Leticia Stauch, who we thought was done and over with, Leticia Stauch has come back on the scene for season 2. Season 2, Leticia Stauch is back at it. Okay, she on the low, sneaking in on the appeals court. Okay, and honestly, I start to notice like patterns when it comes to like TV stuff. Right, I noticed that when they are about to do something that's going to upset the public, like everyone's about to get mad about this shit, they do it on the low under a whole there's a whole bunch of other media stuff happening and they slide it in. Okay? They slide it in there real quick. Diddy wasn't this year. No. But like during Diddy trial, the whole Diddy saga, Harvey Weinstein was appealing his shit and got some of his shit appealed. But we wasn't paying attention to it because we was paying so much attention to Diddy. And if you, in my mind, somebody told me, like conspiracy theories are all relative to your opinion and your point of view. So, in the patterns that you see happening in things, I'm noticing patterns in media, social media, TV programming, right? When they want me to pay attention to something, they pump it hard. I see it all the time, right? But underneath it, when they will hide shit that they don't want us to see in the midst of all of this other shit happening. Like we don't even hear about ICE really no more in the news. I don't hear about it no more either. Like 2 people fucking died while they were out here protecting America, going after all of these so-called illegal, well, they're not so-called. If you're in here and you're not documented, you're an illegal immigrant. And if you should not be coming through without going through the proper process, I understand that. But the way these niggas was doing it, it was just crazy. Like literally trying to create, I feel like he was trying to create his own army, his own security. You know who else had their own security? You know what it reminded me of? ICE, the way they was running around. It literally reminded me of Handmaid's Tale. What did it remind me of in Handmaid's Tale? They had to create their own security and their own army so that they can, when it came time for them to take over, they had their own loyal police. Right? Do you feel that? Do you see that? They had to have their own private military when they were about to overthrow the government. They should do like a series, not necessarily on the handmade part of the whole thing, but a series on like what it actually will look like for the American, for someone to throw what they call it, a coup. They should really throw what that would actually have to look like. Because if he, aka, if Donald Trump, not aka, but if Donald Trump had a real military presence back on January 6th, he probably could have overthrown the government then. He just had to have people in Congress and an actual military that was willing to turn on citizens. Once he gets that, right? Once he has that, it's gonna be a wrap. Because that's so like I don't know if you guys are paying attention. I remember I don't know how many years ago it was, and I don't know if it ever resolved itself. But remember Syria was in like this 5-year civil war. And what pretty much was happening was from my I don't know, I don't have like a big like knowledge of this stuff. Like I don't know, no. But what was happening was he was the people were protesting and wanting the person that was the president out of power. They were protesting him out of power and they were winning. Like other people in the countries around them were having protests and getting people kicked out of power. Um some people what the people wanted they did. Okay, some people were like, "All right, y'all don't want me, I'm out." That dude was like, "Nah. Um I'm not leaving." As a matter of fact, the crowd, and that started their civil war. All you really need is somebody in office that is willing to turn the military against us and have a military that is willing to just follow the president blindly and then everybody. That's all they're waiting for. Like all of these things have to be put in line for them to be able to do it. And I feel like they keep trying to do it. Like they keep trying to put stuff like that in line, but they can't get they can't get one side to be extreme enough to go against the other side. They keep trying though. That's what I feel like they tried with I feel like they tried that with his assassination. I feel like they tried that with Charlie Kirk. I feel like they tried that with ICE. They keep trying to really create a real strong us versus them where people are so us versus them that they put their lives on the line. And they keep trying to start and it all keeps starting over there wherever Minnesota is. I don't know where it is on the map. But they keep trying to do it with them there cuz they be ready to protest. I'll be like, "Yo, y'all niggas need to go home. Lock your doors, go home. This is not how we roll in the USA." Like protesting, it works, but we're not in the civil rights movement. That shit don't work the way y'all want it to work. And then it be the wrong people out there protesting. Like somebody did a post. There was a post of people out there doing one of those like no kings protest things. There was somebody out there doing that and some butthole was trying to bring up the point that there were no black people out there. And every time something happens on that side, this all right, this is my um thought process on a lot of these things. A lot of these arguments, and I might lose some people on this. A lot of these arguments are not necessarily a black white thing. Like Black Lives Matter was not a white thing. That was kind of liberalist, lefty white people arguing with like conservative, righty white people. Okay? That's what it was. And and that's really what the Charlie Kirk thing was. That wasn't it wasn't a black versus white thing. Even though I think they thought if they used when that black man who was insane when he stabbed that girl, if they used him that situation, they were trying to use that situation to ignite uproar with everyone, right? They kept trying to use that. But I feel like the black people was like, nah, son, he's crazy. He needs to be whatever the law does with him, it needs to do with him because he literally should not have been out on the streets if he's out here hearing stuff tell him to do that stuff, right? We want to paint people evil when they're actually sick. So they were trying to make that a black white thing, but Charlie Kirk said so much like inflammatory ass stuff towards everybody that the white people that adopt every oppression, like the white people that are like, um, trans, gay, I have a disability, I'm fat, emotionally whatever, all of these things, those people that pretty much took the language that black people were using for their oppression and made it used it so that they can use it for every oppression. Like if you're fat, right? If you're overweight, if you're obese, you can argue against skinny people the way black people argue against racists. They use the same language, right? Or if you're like trans people took like hijacked. When I say hijacked, they robbed Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter stopped being about black lives and they low key used the phrase like that was the front face of it But really, any money they made, nothing got done for black people, but all of a sudden all these laws got passed for LGBTQ plus I whatever. Like all of these laws got passed for them. If you really sit and look at it. Like I would argue with one of my best friends, not argue, but me and her kept going button heads because she kept saying, "Yo, I can't be down with Black Lives Matter. Like I can't rock with that." And I was looking at her because she was white and her son was mixed. Her son was black. I was like, "How can you say something like that? Your son is black." And then I had another friend from like Tennessee, and then he had to go online and just protest protesteth that can't he can't like follow Black Lives Matter. Like I can't. But all I heard were the words, right? The words trigger me. Like I can't get with that. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. But then I remember I went and looked at like went to the website for Black Lives Matter and I kept being like, this can't be Black Lives Matter. This can't be it. This is not about black lives. Like this is about a whole bunch of other stuff. And I remember seeing people getting on TikTok and being like, "Yeah, that's not really what this is supposed to be about. I understand y'all want to fight for that, but we need to calm that down right now. We focusing on this. All we wanted was to get rid of qualified immunity. I think that was the big ask from Black Lives Matter. I think when it was about, Black lives, I think that was the big ask. Can we get rid of qualified immunity so police officers that do cross the line and do abuse their power and do use that badge as their get out of jail free when they unjustly kill somebody, for the ones that do that, they can't hide behind the badge, which I don't know. I don't know why that's such a big like you if so I know I'm just a massage therapist, right? It's nothing in the grand scheme of everything that's out there. But I have to pass an exam, get a license, and take continuing ed classes to keep my license. Why can't police officers take an exam? Like they have to go through police academy, right? They go through the academy, an accredited academy. They take their exam, they get licensed. For me to maintain my license and be able to work as a massage therapist, I have to pay for out of pocket liability insurance so that I can work. And if I just so I don't fuck up and someone now can sue me, like I have to have that, right? Why can't police officers have to have that too? Not a union that takes care of them, not taxpayers' dollars that has to pay for every time a police officer does something wrong. The taxpayer has to pay. The police station in that town has to pay. Like, imagine how much money is wasted on covering lawsuits for police officers that could go back into that department, right? So, and then if I fuck up if I think I probably only got one try. The same way doctors have medical malpractice insurance. Why can't police have that as well? And then you fuck up enough and can't get insured, you can't be a police officer no more. Some jobs really are like a privilege. Like it is a privilege to work and protect. Like you're protecting the Constitution, you're protecting the laws of the land, right? In a sense that's you protecting the people. Like it is a privilege. It's not a shit job. It should be an honorary job, right? But it's a dangerous job. If we weren't putting so much money back into like covering lawsuits, maybe money can get put back into communities so that communities don't aren't so bad. right? But I don't know. It's I forgot where I started with this, right? I forgot where I was going and what I was doing. It's funny to me. I've been talking for 20 minutes right now. You can end up talking for like a long time. I was supposed to be talking about Leticia Stauch. I was supposed to be talking about this chick. Like literally, that's what I got online to do because I did a video before, but I think I wanted to do something a little bit different. But I've already talked for like 20 minutes. Um, in our justice system, okay, there are rules that have to be met. We've made these rules, and in those rules, you cannot have jurors that have a bias. Like when you pick your jury, it has to be people that know nothing about the case, that don't know any of the people, that so that 12 people can hear the information for the first time and then be like, yeah, that bitch did that. But for some reason, they let someone sit in the jury that knew someone from the district attorneys, the attorney that was trying the case, pretty much, that knew him, that knew someone. I guess you can't be I should go find it so I say it right. You can't be related in like 3 degrees of separation. You can't have 3 degrees of separation from anybody having anything to do with the case, right? You can't know the victim's family. You can't know the lawyers. You can't know a law clerk. You can't know anybody in the system that's dealing with it. You have to be completely loose of it. Let me see if I can find. I'll find something just so I did the thing that I
cause
was
while
supposed
also
to do.
permitting her to use a
Hold on, hold on, hold on. He don't timestamp his shit. I think in the beginning he reads it. I think it's a little bit before this. A little bit more. I think this is it. Let me put the captions on so maybe I can find and we don't have to watch like a bunch of stuff. Okay. We have to go back into studio mode so I can make sure this is right. Middle screen. Middle screen phone. All right. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to get everything in there. All right. I think so. This is the lawyer you know. I'll be watching his channel all the time. It's not just because he's cute. It's a it's a lot because he's cute, but not just because he's cute. It's probably I don't know if he's in the realm of being somebody's son because I am older than him, but whatever. Yeah, I don't think he could be somebody's brother. I think little brother, somebody's little brother. Nah, I'm a grown ass man, but yeah, I think I gotta put him as somebody's little brother. So where it's like you can't really holler at him because that's your best friend. Ooh, excuse me. That's your best friend's little brother, so you shouldn't be hollering at him. But you can real quick. All right, I think this is kind of it where he talks about it. I don't want to go too long, but here.
Specific situation here in the Stauch case. Because it was the elected district attorney, this applies to any deputy district attorney in that office.
Right,
so it doesn't just have to be in normal circumstances.
Let me back up a little bit more.
The trial court is required to excuse them because, except as described in subsection 1J, they cannot be rehabilitated. In People versus McCrander, the Supreme Court held that when an elected district attorney is the attorney of record, section 1610.
I didn't back up enough.
We don't live in a barbaric society. We live in a civilized society. That means you cannot rehab them. In jury selection, sometimes if a juror says something bad, this word right here, shall,
He's about to
also consider and reject Stauch's Fourth Amendment challenge to the search warrant. However, we do not reach the remaining evidentiary issues. Or the evidentiary issue. So basically, we're not going to go through her objection to the search warrant that they rejected that argument. But basically, they said we didn't think it was overly broad. We're just going to focus on the fact that this was overturned because of argument number one. That's going to be the important to take up what the video is on today. Section 1610-103 provides that a trial court shall sustain a challenge for cause on one or more of the following grounds: relationship within the third degree by blood, adoption, or marriage to a defendant or to any attorney of record or attorney engaged in the trial of the case. Seems pretty simple. This is the law of that state. And this word right here, shall. A trial court shall. Sometimes there's a may, sometimes there's a can, sometimes there's a could, sometimes there might be a should. I don't know if I've ever heard a should, but should is more like shall. Shall and must are the important words in this statute construction. They have no discretion. We talk about judicial discretion all the time. There's so many scenarios where judges have so much discretion. This is not one of those scenarios. They must sustain a challenge for cause on one or more of the following grounds. A relationship within the third degree. Okay, what does that mean? Well, 3 degrees of separation in your relationship to either the defendant or the attorney of record. That could be by blood, adoption, or the important one here, marriage. The existence of a state of mind in the juror evincing enmity or bias toward the defendant or the state, unless the court is satisfied from the examination of the juror or from other evidence that he will render an impartial verdict according to the law and the evidence submitted to the jury at trial. Jurors who fall within one of these categories are considered biased as a matter of law. That means you cannot rehab them. In jury selection, sometimes if a juror says something bad or something that we like for our case, like, I don't know, yes, I'll give money for pain and suffering. Or let's say a juror, this just happened to me. So a juror says, no, I would never give money for pain and suffering, even though that's what the law says, that's the only thing that you can do. Then the defense can come up and say, well, what if the law explains that because someone suffered pain, we don't live in a barbaric society, we live in a civilized society, so that's why money can be given for pain and suffering. Would you then agree, and would you be able to do it if that's what the law provided and that's what the evidence shows? And they're like, yeah, I guess I could. That's rehabilitating a juror who said something that would make them struck for cause because it shows bias and the inability to the inability to follow the law. So they would have been struck, except the other attorney was able to come up and rehabilitate them. These jurors that are biased as a matter of law cannot be rehabilitated. It's not like you can say, hey, the state attorney's my brother, but I'm not going to make him my brother or going to pretend like he's not my brother throughout the trial. You just can't do that. You can't rehab them. They're biased as a matter of law. Doesn't mean they're a bad person. Doesn't mean they wouldn't be a good juror. Doesn't mean they wouldn't be fair if they actually deliberated on the case. We just don't want the appearance of impropriety. We don't want this situation to occur. Impliedly biased under Section 1B and actually biased under Section 1J.
I think that's it. I think he kind of drove in the point. He reads the whole thing. Okay, it's too many big words. I could not. But he does. And if you want to know exactly why, check his page out. It's actually pretty in depth. I love his page. All right. right? Even though he's somebody's little brother, which is okay. Yeah. So yeah, I I guess I don't know. I'd be so upset if that was my family, like my son that was harmed, and then now she doesn't get out. She just gets a new trial. So she's going to stay in jail. They're going to try her again. I doubt she's going to I doubt the outcome is going to be any different cuz she already said she did it, right? So I can't see her being able to now have a new trial and be like, I ain't do that shit. Like she already said she did it, and she said she did it because she was crazy. Well, not because she was crazy, but because she was mentally and legally insane. Like she already said that. So you can't have a new trial and take that back. So I don't know what a new trial is going to do for her. Hopefully, hopefully she gets a new she finds a new expert, cuz that expert that she had, ooh child. The expert she had was mm, they should have left that old lady at home. They should have left that old lady at home. I guess that was the only one that would come down, see her, and be like, "Yeah, she got multiple personalities." But nah, that lady, it was ridiculous. Maybe we'll if this gets some likes, if this gets like 10 likes, because I'm not getting no likes. If this gets any likes, maybe um we'll go over that interrogation of their one witness that had one job, that was to let the jurors know that she does have dissociative personality disorder. And that lady failed on all fronts. I think she took it as, I don't know, I think people be like, "Oh, if I'm a witness for the defense, I have to say something that goes with the defense," as opposed to, I am a psychiatrist. I'm going to go interview this person and I'm going to see if they have this or if they don't. She was just like, I'm just going to go have a conversation with her and make it look like she does. And that's, I don't know, maybe shit's changed now, but that's not what you're supposed to do. But yeah, it's crazy out here. That's what our law system is for. We have a jury, we have all of these things. Follow the rules. Like he said something pretty I don't want to say profound, but it hit me, like it hit home with me. In order for the justice system to work, no, it has to work for the worst of us for it to work for the best of us. But I would say it has to work for the worst of us for it to work for all of us, because it's not about who's good and who's bad. It's these are the rules for everybody, right? And anybody can have a go to court and have a defense. There's literally, I can't think of a crime that somebody couldn't come up with a defense for. Like maybe like the PDFs, there's really no excuse for that. But if you could find one, you have the right to try and do it. But that's why I always get mad with like the Madeline Soto case. Like I think it's been like 2 years now, but that case irritated the hell out of me because he was going to trial. Florida had him going for the death penalty. They were going for the death penalty, and it feels like they only have the death penalty to kind of scare people into pleading out. Um because they've yet to actually like be like, nah, we're going for this. Like it's literally a tool to plead people out. They had videos, pictures, um, everything. They had everything you need to convict that guy. And he waited like 2 years or a year or so, maybe a year, to exhaust every argument I guess that he could make, which was they unlawfully checked my phone and found the videos, which no, you know what I'm saying? No. And they let him plead no contest to the murder. I personally feel like they didn't want to deal with it and they just wanted to throw the guy away, which I don't think is fair to the victim. Like I don't think that's fair to Maddie. I feel like in some ways, I don't know, maybe it's different and if it were me, I'd feel different. But I would want everyone to know exactly what that person did. I would want I would want everyone to see how much of a disgusting pig this person was, right? I would want it all aired out. And so you can see so people know what these people are like so everyone knows and should not be able to hold his face up anywhere. Okay, he should not be able to smile. He should not be able to walk down the street. Well, he can't walk down the street, but he should not be able to walk down a hall in the jail with his head up. And if someone's coming the other way, not know that everyone knows what he did. Like he should have to hang his head every time he passes somebody because everyone knows the shit he did. That to me would be real justice. Cuz it's not even so much that he and this I'm talking about Maddie Soto now, but it's not even so much that he did all of the things to her, right? She eventually could have gotten help and gotten over it. Like I watch true crime with strategic and he says you're either a victim, a survivor or a warrior. Like those are the stages you kind of go through when you're dealing with that type of trauma. And she could have gone through all of those stages and then ended up at warrior where she's helping other victims and other people and helping them get through it. And he took that all away from her by taking her life. So he got to plead no contest, which I don't understand why they had video of him taking her body from he was driving around town with her in the front seat. All right, they had video of him taking her body out of the front seat and putting her in the trunk and then he went and dumped her body. Okay? There's no way. There's no way a jury in Florida would have been like, I don't know, maybe he didn't do it. No way at all. Even if they tried to be like, yo, he had a head injury and lost his mind for a little bit. Nah, he knew enough to hide it. He knew enough to hide it. He knew enough to try and delete those videos and shit before. He knew enough. But yeah. But the courts have to be fair to Stephen Stearns just as much as they have to be fair to me, just as much as they have to be fair to my best friend's little bro right here. Um, just as much as anything. And I'm not best friends with anybody he knows. He's somebody's little brother, is what I'm saying. Um, yeah. So it has to work for the worst of us to work for all of us. And that's it. That's it. We want it to work. And the only way it works is if we follow the rules all the time. But yeah, I'm gonna get off. My voice is starting to dry and crack a little bit. I'm getting a little better. I think I could go a little bit longer before my voice starts hurting. Um, I'm gonna get off of here. I think I'm gonna take a shower. I think I'm gonna do. I need like a treatment. My skin is so dry. It's crazy. Like my skin was better winter than it is right now. Like it's crazy. I feel like paper. But yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Maybe next time we'll go into something a little bit deeper. I got a couple videos that I gotta make. But yeah, hopefully I get to edit the stout shit before I go to bed. I think I'm gonna edit one of my Leticia Stauch videos before I go to bed. This one or the other one. But yeah, you guys have a good night. It is Monday. Some of y'all might be watching wrestling right now. Maybe I got my Netflix back, so maybe I'll go watch wrestling. Because WrestleMania is coming up and I haven't watched anything. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what stories are about to happen. If I don't watch Monday Night Raw and it don't get me hype for WrestleMania, something's wrong. Um, I don't know what WrestleMania is gonna be. If I should watch Monday Night Raw and get hyped for it, like, oh shit, I gotta watch it. But I don't know. I just been watching like TikTokers and YouTubers react, and that's how I keep up with it. I don't haven't necessarily been watching. Um, but yeah, I'm yawning now. I don't think we're supposed to yawn on here. I'm not bored. I didn't yawn because I was bored. I was just yawning because, my brain needed more oxygen. But yeah, um, the reason why I'm still talking is because I had to no, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I have to get, the outro going, and I think I need a different outro. I've been using the intro and the outro kind of simultaneously, like how this girl uses donation and pledge simultaneously. I mean, they are simultaneous. If you pledge it, you paying, but she thought that meant, yeah, I'm paying. She did that shit like I do my light bill. Yeah, I still don't got it ready, guys. I gotta work on this part of it. All right, we gotta work on this part of it, but just so, yeah, we just gotta get. Oh, this has updates also. Fix disabled, appearing in audio mixer, missing toolbar action. Yeah, there's some updates I gotta do. But here we go. I will check you guys later. Please, please give me some comments, some likes, something. I'm literally gonna make videos anyway, but if you guys want to see more on Miss Stouch, because now this is the case that's everyone's probably gonna be obsessing about. If not, if you want to see something else, like if you have an idea, drop it in the thing. Maybe I'll try and do that if I'm able. I'm not really capable of doing a lot, but I can try. I can try. Yeah. So, wait, why is that? No, it should be in that mode. No, not that mode. All right. Everyone, have a good night. I will see you guys soon. Until next time. Good night. Good night. Good night. Mhm.